Nolan Grayson. Nolan, also known as Omni-Man, boasts one of the most compelling arcs among the Viltrumites in the Invincible comics. His backstory, detailed in issue 11, reveals a humble beginning on Viltrum where he initially failed to qualify as a soldier. Instead, he worked on the Search Committee, a group tasked with identifying planets for Conquest, for 3 years, while persistently auditioning for a soldier role. His determination paid off in his 3rd year when an exceptional audition earned him a spot on the front lines, leading assaults on numerous worlds. Nolan's rapid rise through the ranks followed, earning him personal accolades and command of his own division at a young age. His prowess was so renowned that Conquest noted his immense potential, and modern Viltrumites refer to him as the Great Nolan, with tales of his heroics told to children, cementing his status as a living legend. However, the Viltrumite Empire faced a catastrophic setback with the Scourge virus, which decimated 99.9% of their population, forcing a shift in strategy toward repopulation through compatible species. Nolan's mission to Earth was part of this plan, and his son Mark's birth confirmed humans as a viable match, with human Viltrumite hybrids possessing the same potential as pure Viltrumites. After 20 years on Earth, Nolan's perspective shifted dramatically. He embraced free will, wrote books, started a family, and operated as the hero Omni-Man, gradually forgetting his mission. Mark's powers reawakened his duty, but his loyalty to the Empire had eroded. After a failed attempt to conquer Earth, Nolan was imprisoned by the Viltrumites, where he befriended Alan, a descendant of a species he had eradicated centuries ago. Together, they escaped, and Nolan joined the Coalition of Planets, an organization dedicated to opposing the Viltrumite Empire. Using his knowledge of Viltrumite weaknesses, he aided the Coalition in preparing for war, culminating in the destruction of Viltrum alongside Mark, an act of ultimate betrayal against his people. Remarkably, Nolan later became Emperor after it was revealed he was the son of Argall, a revered former leader. Despite his treason, his royal lineage earned him the throne, and under his rule, the Viltrumites integrated into Earth society, adopting a peaceful existence, a stark contrast to their history of conquest. Mark Grayson. Mark Grayson, better known as Invincible, is a central figure in the Invincible comics, born to Nolan and a human mother, Debbie, making him a human Viltrumite hybrid. His journey as a Viltrumite begins with his father's mission to prepare Earth for Viltrumite conquest, a task Mark rejects multiple times, openly declaring his disdain for the Empire's ideals. This disloyalty marks his early years as he prioritizes protecting Earth over serving Viltrum. However, Mark's role evolves dramatically when he becomes Emperor following Nolan's reign. Under his leadership, the Viltrumite Empire undergoes a profound transformation, shifting from a conquest-driven regime to a force for peace across the galaxy. Mark's initiatives include ending long-standing interstellar conflicts, providing renewable energy to struggling planets, and aiding species in escaping dying solar systems. His efforts ensure that planets previously helped by the Empire continue to thrive, rendering the Coalition of Planets obsolete, an outcome that prompts Alan to wage war against Viltrum to protect his own interests. Mark's physical strength also grows significantly by the series' end, surpassing even Alan, who had previously outclassed Nolan in combat. In a climactic battle, Mark delivers both a physical and ideological defeat to Alan, showcasing his growth as a warrior and leader. Despite his early rejection of Viltrumite values, Mark's tenure as Emperor highlights his ability to redefine the Empire's purpose, balancing his human compassion with his Viltrumite heritage. His legacy is one of redemption for the Viltrumites, proving that their potential can be harnessed for good rather than destruction. Though his initial disloyalty reflects the unique perspective of a hybrid raised on Earth rather than Viltrum. Thragg. Thragg stands as one of the most formidable Viltrumites, trained from birth to be the strongest of his kind, a destiny shaped by the chaos following Emperor Argall's death. Nolan describes Thragg's rigorous combat training, which enabled him to rise to the position of Grand Regent after Argall's assassination. As Grand Regent, Thragg's primary duty was to locate one of Argall's hidden heirs to restore the royal bloodline to the throne, a task at which he failed miserably. He assumed the Scourge virus had killed all of Argall's children, overlooking Nolan, one of the 50 surviving Viltrumites, a negligence that delayed the rightful heir's ascension for decades. Thragg's actions reveal his true loyalty lies with himself rather than the Empire, as he prioritized his own legacy over the search for Argall's heir. This self-interest is further evidenced when he attempts to kill the Graysons upon discovering their royal blood. Despite these failings, Thragg made some positive contributions as Grand Regent, such as relocating the Viltrumites to Earth to rebuild their population, and occasionally sparing lives for the Empire's benefit, demonstrating a capacity for strategic foresight. However, his release by Emperor Nolan against Alan's warnings allowed Thragg to create an army of Thraxan Viltrumite hybrids driven by a desire for revenge against the bloodline that destroyed Viltrum. Thragg's power is undeniable. He rips Invincible in half with ease, a feat that underscores his dominance, especially since Mark and Nolan were on equal footing by this point. His combat record includes victories over formidable opponents like Dinosaurus, Oliver, Nolan, Mark, and Battle Beast, though his fight with the latter was closely contested. Even in his final defeat, Mark required significant external help to survive, highlighting Thragg's overwhelming strength. Thragg's mustache and hairline add a distinctive flair to his menacing presence, but his legacy is marred by his selfish motivations and ultimate betrayal of the Empire's ideals. Anissa. Anissa, a Viltrumite who undergoes significant transformation, initially embodies the Empire's traditional disdain for humans when Thragg relocates the Viltrumites to Earth. She shares Thragg's view of humans as mere animals, resisting integration more than any other known Viltrumite, particularly in her refusal to mate with humans. Instead, she fixates on Mark Grayson, whose pure Viltrumite DNA, due to the species' genetic dominance and royal blood from Argall, make him an ideal mate in her eyes. Anissa's pursuit of Mark is aggressive, culminating in a horrific act where she forces herself on him, resulting in the birth of their son, Marcus. This incident underscores her initial adherence to Viltrumite customs over human morality. However, over the next 5 years, Anissa changes dramatically, marrying a human named Scott and forming emotional bonds, a rarity for true Viltrumites as noted in issue 63. This shift marks her evolution into a compassionate individual, exemplified by her unhesitating agreement to protect Earth, despite Nolan's assurance that it wasn't mandatory. During the battle against Thragg, Anissa sacrifices herself to save Eve, motivated by concern for the emotional impact Eve's death would have on Mark. Her selflessness plays a crucial role in the war's outcome, aiding the Viltrumites' victory. Anissa's journey from a staunch traditionalist to a selfless protector highlights her growth, balancing her loyalty to the Empire with a newfound empathy, making her a pivotal figure in the Viltrumites' integration into Earth society. Conquest. Conquest is a Viltrumite whose sadistic nature makes him an outcast even among his own kind, feared for his unhinged behavior over thousands of years as the Empire's weapon of conquest. Tasked with subjugating planets, Conquest revels in inflicting maximum pain, a trait that sets him apart from the average Viltrumite soldier. His love for combat overshadows any desire to expand the Empire's influence, as he admits that killing is his primary motivation. Despite his reputation, Season 3 of Invincible reveals a deeper layer to Conquest, a sense of loneliness stemming from the other Viltrumites' fear of him. He feels capable of more than just destruction, but his peers view him as a mere animal, denying him opportunities to explore other roles. This emotional complexity adds nuance to his character, though it doesn't diminish his brutality. Conquest's tactical errors prove costly in his battles against Invincible, whom he underestimates, leading to his defeat twice. Had he taken Mark seriously from the start, Conquest's superior strength and experience likely would have secured victory. His confession of his feelings after millennia of isolation hints at a desire for connection, but his legacy remains one of violence and instability, a stark contrast to the evolving values of the Viltrumite Empire under later leaders like Nolan and Mark. General Kregg. General Kregg, one of the oldest surviving Viltrumites, has been a constant presence since the Great Purge, a civil war that reshaped Viltrum by eliminating its weaker members. By the series' end, under Thragg's leadership, Kregg holds the rank of general, a unique position as the highest-ranking officer of his kind. His commitment to the Empire's survival is evident in his efforts to maintain Viltrumite numbers, first by offering Nolan a chance at redemption, and later by fathering a dozen children with human women, prioritizing the Empire's future over personal loyalty to his partners. Kregg's allegiance to the Empire surpasses his individual grudges, as seen when he swiftly abandons Thragg upon learning Nolan is Argall's heir, choosing to follow the royal bloodline despite his earlier desire for the Graysons' deaths after Viltrum's destruction. This decision aligns with his deep-rooted loyalty to the Empire's structure, a trait that distinguishes him from Thragg's self-serving nature. Nolan rewards Kregg's loyalty by allowing him to build the family he desired, integrating him into the new, more peaceful Viltrumite society on Earth. Kregg's long service, spanning the reigns of Argall, Thragg, Nolan, and Mark, underscores his adaptability and dedication, making him a cornerstone of the Empire's military history and a key figure in its transition to a more humane existence. Emperor Argall. Emperor Argall, though never seen directly, is a pivotal figure in Viltrumite history, known through the accounts of others like Thragg and Anissa. Under his leadership, Viltrum flourished for thousands of years, becoming an unopposed galactic power that expanded to encompass countless planets. Anissa highlights Argall's wisdom as the reason for his people's loyalty, a rare trait in a culture that typically prioritizes strength above all else. However, Thragg's perspective paints Argall as a tyrant, leading to his assassination by Thragg, who drove a bone through his skull. Thragg's account suggests Argall's death plunged Viltrum into centuries of chaos as the population fought to establish a new ruler, a period during which Thragg was born and trained. Mark offers a different timeline, asserting that the civil war to find a new leader was distinct from the earlier Great Purge, where Viltrumites culled their weak to strengthen the species. In Mark's version, Argall oversaw both the Empire's peak and its decline during the Scourge virus outbreak, remaining in power until his murder during that turbulent time. Regardless of the conflicting narratives, Argall's legacy endures through his respected lineage, as his son Nolan and grandson Mark are accepted as leaders despite their betrayals, reflecting the deep reverence Viltrumites held for Argall's rule. His reign represents both the height of Viltrumite dominance and the beginning of its challenges, shaping the Empire's trajectory for millennia. Oliver Grayson. Oliver Grayson, a Thraxan Viltrumite hybrid and Mark's younger brother, is the first of his kind, born to Nolan and a Thraxan mother. Raised on Thalascria, the Coalition of Planets base, Oliver aligns himself with the Coalition's mission to dismantle the Viltrumite Empire. His Thraxan DNA grants him a perfect memory, allowing him to recall every moment of his life, including the repeated attempts by Viltrumite soldiers to kill him as a child. This fuels his deep hatred for the Empire, surpassing even Mark and Nolan's disdain, as Oliver is willing to sacrifice Earth's population to eliminate the remaining Viltrumites by nearly unleashing the Scourge virus. His loyalty lies firmly with the Coalition, not the Empire, reflecting his upbringing and experiences. Oliver's rapid growth due to his Thraxan heritage makes him a formidable fighter, though he faces significant challenges in combat, including multiple defeats by Thragg. His determination to end the Viltrumite threat drives his actions, but his extreme measures highlight a moral complexity as he prioritizes the Coalition's goals over broader humanitarian concerns. Oliver's role in the Invincible narrative underscores the tension between Viltrumite heritage and external influences, as well as the personal cost of living in a galaxy dominated by such a ruthless species. Tara Grayson. Tara Grayson, the daughter of Mark Grayson and Adam Eve, is a human Viltrumite hybrid whose life is marked by chaos from the start. Born on the day Robot seizes control of Earth, Tara is raised on the alien planet Thalascria, where she nearly dies as an infant due to a severe reaction to alien food. Her early years are further disrupted when Mark disappears for 5 years, leaving her to adapt to life on Thalascria. Upon his return, Tara witnesses the brutal attack on her family by Thragg and his children, a traumatic event that tests her resilience. Despite this, she displays remarkable bravery, reminiscent of Oliver's early courage. Tara's involvement with the Viltrumite Empire begins at age 8 under Mark's emperorship, participating in missions to aid other planets. As a teenager, she develops her own moral compass, often clashing with Mark's decisions, such as when she intervenes to protect a starving alien group from punishment, advocating for compassion over retribution. Later, Tara joins the Conservation Order, a branch of the Empire, ensuring the functionality of installed technology on aided planets, reflecting her commitment to sustainable support. However, her loyalty wavers when the Coalition of Planets wages war against the Viltrumites. Tara refuses to fight, blaming Mark for the conflict, and even considers supporting the Conservation Order's potential secession from the Empire. Ultimately, she remains loyal, working closely with Mark and serving as his champion in a battle against another species, showcasing her potential as a leader and fighter in the evolving Viltrumite Empire. Thaedus. Thaedus is a Viltrumite whose actions have a profound impact on the Empire, marking him as one of its most significant traitors. He is the first Viltrumite to rebel against the Empire, founding the Coalition of Planets to create a resistance against Viltrumite domination. As the Coalition's leader, Thaedus employs aggressive tactics, most notably using his DNA to create the Scourge virus, which wipes out 99.9% of the Viltrumite population. He is also responsible for Emperor Argall's assassination, personally killing the revered leader, and later orchestrates the destruction of Viltrum itself with Nolan and Mark's help. Thaedus' actions, killing Argall, decimating the Viltrumite race, and destroying their home planet, represent the ultimate betrayal of his people. However, from the Coalition's perspective, Thaedus is a hero, dedicating his life to ending Viltrumite tyranny. His strategic foresight is evident in his establishment of a backup plan to ensure the Coalition's mission continues even after his death. Thaedus' strength as a Viltrumite is notable, though his true power lies in his leadership and willingness to take extreme measures. His legacy is one of destruction for the Viltrumites, but liberation for the galaxy, embodying the conflict between individual conviction and collective loyalty within the invincible universe. Marky. Marcus, also known as Marky, is the son of Nolan Grayson and Anissa, born under tragic circumstances due to Anissa's assault on Mark. After Anissa's death, Marky is left on Earth to be raised by Scott, Anissa's human husband, as Mark expands the Viltrumite Empire across the galaxy. Marky grows up idolizing his father and grandfather, Nolan, and forms a close bond with Debbie, Mark's mother. At a young age, he takes up the mantle of the new Invincible, fighting crime on Earth and occasionally receiving visits from Mark. His relationship with his half-sister Tara is strained. Tara denies their sibling bond, though this occurs when they are very young, while Marky harbors jealousy over Tara's constant proximity to their father. As the Viltrumite Empire grows under Mark's leadership, Marky strives to live up to his father's legacy, achieving remarkable feats for Earth and nearby planets. Mark praises Marky's accomplishments, noting that he has surpassed him in many ways. However, Marky's discovery of the circumstances of his conception leads to self-loathing and the belief that Mark hates him, culminating in a future confrontation where Marky attacks the Emperor. He claims to have the power to kill Mark, a statement supported by his royal blood from Argall and Anissa's formidable genes. While it's unclear if Marky could truly defeat Mark, his potential is undeniable, making him a significant figure among the Viltrumite hybrids, though his emotional struggles and disloyalty to the Emperor complicate his legacy. Ursaal, one of Thragg's Thraxan Viltrumite hybrid children, stands out for her compassion in a family marked by cruelty. Thragg creates an army of hybrids to outnumber the Viltrumite Empire, leveraging the Thraxans' rapid growth to build his forces within 5 years. While Thragg views his children as disposable, Ursaal values their lives, despising her father's use of them as cannon fodder. Alongside her twin brother Onaan, she is sent to kill the Graysons but witnesses a different approach during the final battle against Nolan and the Coalition. Seeing Anissa, Alan, and Mark display genuine care for their allies, a stark contrast to Thragg's indifference, Ursaal is inspired to defect. She convinces her siblings to surrender, leading to their integration into Mark's Viltrumite Empire. This act significantly boosts the Empire's numbers by thousands, facilitating its galactic expansion. Centuries later, Ursaal fights in Mark's war against the Coalition, and her conversation with Tara suggests a loyalty to the Empire that surpasses even Mark's own children. Ursaal's journey from a disposable soldier to a key contributor to the Empire's growth highlights her moral strength and adaptability, making her a vital figure in the Viltrumites' new era of peace and cooperation. Onaan, Ursaal's twin brother and another of Thragg's Thraxan Viltrumite hybrids, embodies the darker traits of his father's legacy. Thragg's hybrid army, created to outnumber the Viltrumite Empire, benefits from the Thraxans' rapid maturation, but Thragg considers his children expendable except for the twins, whom he values slightly more. Onaan, however, is a sadistic psychopath who takes pleasure in torturing his victims, maintaining a special cave for this purpose. His physical strength likely surpasses that of most Thraxan hybrids, earning him Thragg's trust for the mission to kill the Graysons alongside Ursaal. This mission ends in failure when Invincible crushes Onaan's neck with one hand, a swift and brutal death that underscores his inability to match true Viltrumite power. Onaan's demise elicits genuine grief only from Ursaal, who, unlike her brother, values the lives of her siblings. Onaan's brief role in the Invincible comics highlights the violent potential of Thragg's hybrids, but his lack of compassion and strategic thinking limits his impact, making him a footnote in the broader narrative of the Viltrumite Empire's evolution. Molly. Molly, the daughter of Anissa and her human husband Scott, is a human Viltrumite hybrid introduced as a baby in the Invincible comics. When Mark leaves Earth to expand the Viltrumite Empire, he believes having two Viltrumites, Molly and Marky, on the planet could benefit its protection. However, by the final time we see her, Molly has yet to develop her powers, a delay not uncommon among hybrids, as Mark himself didn't gain his abilities until his teenage years. Without further expansion in the TV series, Molly remains a character with unrealized potential, her role limited to her status as a hybrid in a family marked by significant contributions to the Empire. Her lack of powers and minimal narrative presence make her one of the least impactful Viltrumites, though her existence symbolizes the integration of Viltrumites into human society under Nolan and Mark's leadership. Thula. Thula, a Viltrumite soldier, serves under multiple leaders, Argall, Thragg, Nolan, and Mark, making her one of the longest-serving known Viltrumites. In Season 2, she participates in the brutal attack on Alan the Alien alongside Lucan, showcasing her combat prowess. Mark, still relatively weak for a Viltrumite at this stage, manages to overpower her when he stops holding back, though he hesitates to kill her, a decision that could have ended her life. Later, under Nolan's rule, Thula integrates into Earth society, having children with an unnamed human man. She continues her service under Mark as the Empire expands, appearing in the final chapter fighting against the Coalition. Thula's adaptability and loyalty to the Empire, despite serving under vastly different leaders, highlight her resilience and commitment, though her individual contributions remain less prominent compared to higher-ranking Viltrumites. Lucan. Lucan, another Viltrumite soldier, serves alongside Thula and survives to the series' end. In Season 2, he expresses disgust at Oliver's existence as a Thraxan Viltrumite hybrid, viewing such a union as unnatural, yet he accepts human Viltrumite hybrids like Mark if they prove their strength. Lucan aspires to rise through the Empire's ranks, but admits to losing focus during battles, a flaw that hinders his ambitions. When Thragg relocates the Viltrumites to Earth, Lucan deviates from the norm by refusing to mate with multiple partners, remaining loyal to his human girlfriend. 5 years later, he has 2 children with a third on the way, the eldest being Kamen. Lucan fights in the war against the Coalition centuries later, possibly alongside a grown-up Kamen, though the passage of time makes identification uncertain. His commitment to his family and service to the Empire under multiple emperors reflect a balance between traditional Viltrumite values and the new, more integrated society. Vidor. Vidor, a Viltrumite, with a distinctive design featuring glasses and a uniquely colored mustache, is a minor but memorable character. During the battle on Thraxa, he kills numerous Thraxans, adhering to the Viltrumite belief that the weak deserve death if they can be killed. Vidor's arrogance leads him to challenge Nolan, believing he can defeat him, but Nolan easily overcomes him while simultaneously fighting Thula, demonstrating Vidor's overestimation of his abilities. His defeat highlights his limited impact within the Empire, and his philosophy of strength over mercy aligns with traditional Viltrumite values, though it ultimately leads to his downfall in a battle he couldn't win. That's every named Viltrumite in the Invincible comics explained. From iconic figures like Nolan and Mark to lesser-known hybrids like Kamen, we've covered their stories and roles in the Empire's history. Which Viltrumite's journey surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.